So I ran out of some video, and I realized this is long. It's a part 2. Could even be a part 3. I just have a lot to say. And when I said I didn't want to make this video, that's why I'm making it. I think the ones that I don't want to make are the ones that I need to for myself. I need to push myself past the wanting to hide in shame and the wanting to just hide from information and not be 100% help transparent, because I don't think that is a way to help anybody else, and I don't know that I can help anybody else. But like I've said a billion times before, maybe someone seeing this in the future, maybe this will make them feel a little less alone, like they're the only one, because I would think that probably not the only one. I also didn't want the other video, the part 1, to end on all my aches and pains. I have them. It's real. And it's the truth. And I caused it. I totally put my body into shock and triggered an autoimmune response that is going to take some time to go away. Today was really uncomfortable physically for that. But what I wanted to say is, I'm not ashamed about the weight gain. I'm not even that concerned about it. It's not that it's not important or that it doesn't matter. But the realities are, I'm not going to gain 88 pounds in a week from bad eating. I'm not going to gain back all the weight from one meal. What could happen, though, is that I fall off the rails for 1 week and I just never get back on. And that's the one positive that I'm taking away from this, is the medication is doing what it's supposed to do. As a tool, it is helping me, even though I'm still struggling, and even though there are things that I want to eat and I still get an urge to binge. It is helping me, as Taisha from Simply Taisha says, it's giving me the space I need to take a breath and make better choices. It's not 100%, and obviously if I always utilize that, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. I would have stayed on point, and Thanksgiving would have been just another meal. It wasn't about the food. I didn't even like the taste of the macaroni and cheese that I made. I didn't think it tasted very good. And I thought it needed salt, to be honest. And I didn't think my husband was going to like it or anybody else. And I thought everybody was going to be adding salt. And as it turns out, everybody seemed to love that macaroni and cheese. I just really didn't care for it. But I ate it, and I had to eat it because it was my favorite, at least in the past. So I'm eating out of memory. I'm not eating out of the now. I'm not present when I'm eating. I'm historical when I'm eating, basically. I made stuffing. I don't make just any stuffing. I make a really good stuffing. My husband loves my stuffing. So do the guys. I put all kinds of fresh stuff in with the stuffing, like fresh mushrooms and celery and onions and garlic and just all these extra things that I add. And they really enjoy it. And that makes me happy. And it is really good. That stuffing came out great. But when I ate it, it wasn't the favorite that it always used to be. It wasn't. It was again a food that I remembered that that was the focus of my meal for so many years, that I wanted so bad, that I was afraid of missing out, um, that I ate. But it wasn't about, oh, this was so great, I had to have it. And there's still some servings left. I defrosted some for my husband, who does not have a weight issue. And it's bothering me that it's in the fridge. Not gonna lie, it's bothering me that it's in the freezer. I want it. I went grocery shopping today, picked up some fresh fruit, and some meds. And what I really wanted was I wanted to grab stuff down the freezer aisle. And everything was triggering me, and I just had to keep taking deep breaths and walk through it. And it was just such a mental struggle. And it shouldn't have been. I made it a point to eat healthy before I left. I wasn't hungry. I did not get anything that I shouldn't have. And I didn't do anything. I didn't act on those feelings and those thoughts. But it was a struggle nonetheless. And it's not that the GLP-1 is not working. It is. And it's working in so many ways. But the reality is, it doesn't do everything all the time. There is a need to be proactive in changing how I live, how I think, how I do things, and changing the way I think about things, and learning to control certain thoughts and step away from certain patterns. Until that happens, I can't truly change my mindset or shift my thoughts. And that's what I need to work on. I am back on track. I am set up with lots of healthy, on-point meals to get through. I have a rhythm and a routine. I'm moving forward. But I think this video was important because this was me, whether I like admitting it or not, this was me making a conscious choice to take advantage of a situation that I created around food. And yes, part of it, will you stop, Blue? God. Part of it is my background. I'm dealing with eating disorders, and they don't go away so fast. You don't live that way your whole life, go through ups and downs, and then, a shot just changes you. I thought it was going to those first 3 months when I damn near lost my appetite completely, and food was the furthest thing from my mind. And God, I wish I could live like that every day. It would make this journey so much easier. So much easier. It would just take such a huge weight off of my mind. But that's not the case. And I've already just moved up to a higher dose, which I discussed with my doctor. It'd been about 6 months that I'd been on 5 milligrams, and it was time to move up to 7.5. And I'm hoping to stay on 7.5 for as long as possible, to pace myself. I don't want to run out of doses, and I don't know how much my body can handle without severe side effects. I'm also looking and researching retatrutide. I was kind of against it. I didn't see the point, and it's been promoted mostly as being, the muscle saver. But I saw a video, and I don't know the name of the doctor. I'll have to see if I can find it again. He was talking about retatrutide actually curing synapses and brain function with that third agonist that's there, that it's actually there to cure and change the shape of, not just do better with giving signals. And he's the only one that I've heard this from. So I have to look more into that. And even if this is so, it's not a medication I want to jump on. It's brand new. I'm not into being a guinea pig. I was terrified to try the Wegovy. I had horrible side effects when I did. I was just as terrified to try the Zepbound. I was pleasantly surprised, and basically the only side effect I ever had was fatigue, which I had before I was taking the Zepbound anyway, so that really didn't faze me. I'm not anxious to try another new medication. My focus is staying the course on Zepbound for as long as I can, but also watching what's going on with these other medications to see if there's something maybe that would be even more helpful for someone like me with true food addiction and history of eating disorders. There's nothing I would like more than to just have my brain changed, to not have to struggle so much all the time, to not be so emotionally connected, to not be so beholden to food that I can't even taste sometimes. When I went on this binge for the week, or just shy of 2 weeks, my pattern started, like I said, in this panic out of fear of missing out. This was my chance to get in all my favorite foods before I have to go back to eating a certain way. And in doing that, after a while, I couldn't even taste anything that I was eating, but it wasn't stopping me from eating. I had to indulge, and it was all about my memory of the foods giving me the comfort of the release of not having to think or be conscious while eating, of just being free. And that is the trap, because that's not being free. That's the trap. That's the trap. Not being in control is not being free with food, because it makes you ill, and there's no pleasure. And then there's this emotional residual of just pure disturbance and negativity and toxicity around a hunger and a need for food that was created in my mind and not real. And That's the trap. That's not being free. That's being beholden. Being free was being on course and not having to think about it all the time. But when I did think about it, it was it was conscious. It was being present. It was tasting, and it was just having what was needed. So I can't say lesson learned because I have lost hundreds of pounds. I have been thin. I have been morbidly obese, and I have been in the middle repeatedly. And yes, I was one of those people that thought when I'm thin, I'll just be a completely different person. I'll have a zillion times more confidence. I'll be stunningly gorgeous, and everybody will like me, and my life will get better, and I'll earn more money, and I'll be more outgoing and social, and I won't be self-conscious, and I'll do all the things that I really will not do. And I know this because I've been there and it never happened. I I lost the weight. I got to wear nicer clothes, but I never felt that abundance of confidence. I never felt the abundance of beauty, and I never felt so secure with such high self-esteem that I would be this social butterfly. It didn't change anything in my life except my weight and my clothing size. That's it. And I know this, and I've learned it repeatedly. And I know that following these triggers and staying in there instead of stopping and moving the other direction, which I should have control over, I know what the end result is going to be because it's always the same. So I can't say lesson learned, and I can't say to know better is to do better because that's not always the case. What I can say is I'm back on track within a week or two, let's say loosely. In the past, I would have been the one who said, I'll start after New Year's. And then it wouldn't happen. And if it did, I'd maybe get a day to 3 days on track, and then I'd be back at it again. I wouldn't have gotten as far as I had, and I wouldn't have bounced back and been resilient. I wouldn't have had the space and the ability to utilize that space to move forward and get where I need to be. That's the difference. That's the positive takeaway from this experience. That's the GLP medication doing part of what I believe it's meant to do, because I couldn't do this before. So I'm embarrassed, but I'm not deeply ashamed. I'm not deeply affected by the weight gain and loss. Like I said, I'm 2 pounds now that I have to lose. Because everything else just basically I was a fountain. And so I'm okay. But the worst part of this whole thing is not just the mental anguish and the emotional disturbance, but the physical pain from triggering that autoimmune disease and having my whole body flare up again is so miserable. To not be able to sleep or turn in bed and to sit up again and be in excruciating pain. This is what I've done to myself. And now I have to pay the price. And it's probably going to be a couple of weeks before all that stuff just completely dies down. I'm not going on any kind of detox because I am back to zero processed foods with just beans, legumes, vegetables, and fruit. So that is detox. I am whole food, plant-based, no animal protein, and soy-free tofu. My preference, these are the foods that I'm eating, and drinking as much fluids and water-based drinks as I possibly can. Um, so that's just what I was doing anyway when I'm doing right by myself and staying on my plan. Um, Ironically, I just wanted to mention that the pictures that I posted uh, of my full body, I'm wearing a brand new outfit. I just received it today. I ordered it from Shein, and it was dirt cheap, and it's the first thing that I ever ordered from Shein. And I was not going to get any new clothes until I'd gotten down to lost another 60 or 70 pounds. That was it. I was going to walk around in the same clothes that I've been wearing regardless, and I refused to buy anything new. And I ended up finding this cheap outfit that I thought was really nice, and it got some good reviews, and so I bought it. And it's cute. It's a cute outfit that I would normally not allow myself to have at this weight, because in my mind, and I'm not saying this for anybody else, I'm explaining my mind and my train of thoughts. This body doesn't deserve cute, pretty clothes because I've not taken care of it. It doesn't deserve to be rewarded that way. And that's how I've lived the last 50 some odd years. Well, I went against that thought, and I got these cute pants with cuffs and stitched flowers on them and a coordinating top. And I even got some cheap Shein jewelry. Some ear cuffs that I always wanted that I had no intention of getting until I was quote unquote thin. But I broke all those rules and have been feeling better about myself. And so I got my first new outfit. And I'm happy to say it's actually a little bit big on me, and which is fine because it'll probably shrink some in the wash and the dryer. And, instead of a 3 or 4X, I'm wearing a 2X. So that's progress. Not where I want to be, and I have a long way to go. And physically, the journey is probably going to be a lot shorter than mentally and emotionally. That journey is going to take years of reprogramming, routine, learning, etc. Because there's no way that you can develop all these. Actually, I should say for me, I don't know about you, but for me, with all the things I've endured, the bad habits I've developed, the way that my brain has been trained, the way that I am beholden to old habits, and the eating disorder history, I don't feel, in my case, that a year or two of losing weight on a GLP-1 is going to fix everything. In that period of time, it's only going to fix the physical. It's not going to fix the mental and emotional. I suspect that I'm going to have a very long, long journey emotionally and mentally to reprogram my brain. I have no intention of getting off of the Zepbound. If I have to take it for life, or any kind of GLP-1 is what I should say, because I don't know if I'm staying on Zepbound forever, if I'm going to go to retatrutide. I don't know what they're going to come out with in the future. I do know I don't want to go to the pill. I don't think that that is going to be as effective for me, especially since I'm not even good at taking meds and remembering, but I do remember my shot. So my plan is to stay on GLP-1s. I would prefer to stay on a shot over any kind of oral medication. And I'm just going to take it one day at a time and keep moving ahead and work harder on redirecting my own thoughts and eliminating as many outside triggers as I can. I can't control all of them, obviously, but social media is a trigger, all those food recipes, and I find myself just looking and mesmerized of these foods that I think, that I remember loving, and I forget to stop. Don't do that. And I hate to completely get off social media because that's how I stay in touch with long distance friends and some family. But I'm definitely going to have to really work hard at retraining my habits and the time that I spend on social media and the things that I allow myself to look at. In any case, I know this was really long videos, part 1 and 2, probably not very exciting or even interesting to anybody, especially if you can't identify with food addiction or eating disorders. But for anybody that is watching or has watched, thank you again for your support. I appreciate any comments, any engagement, not because I want to become, rich off of YouTube this way. I really appreciate the interaction. I feel like I'm making friends. I've said this many times. You guys, the community, subscribers, you're not going to agree with everything, and that's okay. And I'm sure I'm going to get some ugly comments at some point. So far I haven't, but I'm sure at some point somebody's going to say something, and that's okay too. I appreciate the engagement because I like the connection to you guys. I feel like I have friends. I feel like I have people that I can relate to. I appreciate your kindness. I appreciate your support and your encouragement. And I appreciate you following my journey. And if there's anything that I do in these videos that possibly help, I'm grateful for that. And if you're just watching just because you're bored and had nothing better to do, or maybe you just accidentally left it on and got mesmerized, that's great too. I hope everybody had a great holiday. Wishing you a lot of safety on the roads. People aren't thinking right now. They're all obsessed with the end of the year stuff and the holiday stuff, and it's dangerous out there. So I wish you all a lot of safety, and I will continue to work on making better videos, being more prepared. This one had to happen because if I didn't make it, I don't think I ever would have come back and made another video, to be honest. So it was a purge. These 2 videos were more of a purge, but I think they're going to be a useful tool for me personally, because there is still a big part of me that doesn't believe that I will ever reach my ideal goal weight. And I'm very scared of being devastated and not reaching that. And I hear everybody on these live streams, they're confident, they're doing it, they know it, they're going to get there, they have gotten there, they're in maintenance, and I'm inspired by all of you. But the truth is, I'm not mentally there. When Taisha from Simply Taisha or Dee Dee talk about goals, or I think Taisha had one of her live streams where she said, do you think, Do you believe, do you trust that you're going to reach your goal, that kind of thing? What level of confidence do you have in your journey? I don't have it yet. I'm not there yet. I'm a slow learner. I'm slow to catch on, and I'm slow to connect, and I'm just not there yet. I am going through the motions, and I am trying to stay connected and present in my own journey, but I'm not confident. I'm not fully trusting or believing that I'm going to get to where I want to be. I'm not depressed. I'm low energy because, again, I'm in pain. It's late and I'm tired. I'm not depressed. I'm okay. And I'm back on track, and that's great. That is definitely the best takeaway from all this. But I'm not going to lie either. I don't have that full belief that I'll get to where I want to be. Not yet. But that's not going to stop me from trying. And it's not going to stop me from staying the course and continuing on this journey. So again, thank you. And I'm grateful for you. And I wish you all well, and I'll see you soon on a live stream or next video.